Hello. So, welcome back to my channel. Today, you may hear my dog in the background, chewing, playing, doing whatever he does. Today, we're going to do a book unhaul because I have a lot of books on this shelf and I'm running out of space. And a lot of these books I just don't think I'm going to read. And I think it would be better to just unhaul them, give them to a library or to a thrift shop or something, than just hoarding them knowing I'm never going to read them. So I'm going to show you now what my bookshelf looks like. I've taken off all of the books that I've recently hauled, or the books that I have gotten over the last several months, just so you kind of don't see that, because that's going to be in an upcoming video. Kind of show you my shelf now, just don't mind me, everything is kind of in severe disarray. But anyway, so oh my god, so this is my shelf. This is the top. We have a baby book, a couple of recent reads, obviously you've seen in my last videos, my little Dobby and my little Baymax cup. Oh god. Lots of like hard book covers up here, and then down here we have most of my paperback books, you know, whatever, a lot of the same authors. And then I have two books here, Damned and Writers and Lovers by Lily King. And down here I have my little Baymax pop figure. You can't even see this, I think, but there's some other books that I have, and down here are books that I just won't read because these were given to me by a friend. I'm just borrowing those, but I don't think I'm going to get to them because I have so many books on my TBR. I do have my heavy metal encyclopedia down here, and my vintage book of Walt Whitman poetry down there. So that is the bookshelf. Yes, I am a child, I know. Just don't even bother me with that. But anyway, so we have a lot to get through. I'm just going to start pulling them off. Things that I definitely do not think that I will be reading. So, first of all, we have Aristotle and Dante Discover the Universe. Look, I got this book when I first got into reading. It's a YA book about two boys. It's LGBTQ plus representation, which is great. It's normally the stuff that I would love to read, but I've just come to realize I'm not a YA person, and it's just not the type of books that I like to read. I think I read like 3 chapters, maybe 4, and I just wasn't feeling it, so we're going to donate this book. So next, moving on. Okay, this book, NESBOs Knife. I literally read to about page 394. It's over 400 pages, it's almost 500, and I love Joe Nesbo's The Snowman, but this book, the writing, I don't know if you can tell, is just so tiny, and it just, over 400 pages, it's taking me forever to read. It's a really slow burn, and I'm just not feeling this one, which I'm kind of disappointed because I really liked The Snowman by him, so I'm just going to stop hoarding it. I know I'm not going to end up finishing it, I'm just gathering dust at this point, so we're getting rid of this. It's like, even though I've read books, I don't want to get rid of them because in my sick brain, I'm like, keeping them is a representation of all that I've accomplished. So like, keeping books that I've already read is like, wow, I can't believe I've read all these books, even though I know some of them I probably won't reread again, but that's fine. Oh, definitely getting rid of this. Another YA, highly regarded in the beginning of 2020, 2019, whatever. The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. I'm not going to be reading that. I just know I'm not. It's almost 500 pages. The font is a good size. It's the kind of font that I like. You know, like old people can't see type font. I love that. But I'm not interested in this in any way, shape, or form. I'm not even interested in the storyline, so I don't know why I bought this. I was obviously getting into fiction and stuff in the beginning of 2020, so I kind of just bought it to see if I would like it. I'm not gonna read it, so getting rid of it. Damned by Chuck Palahniuk? I don't know. I bought this because the synopsis sounds really cool. And it's from the author of Fight Club, and I love Fight Club. I thought it was really cool and interesting and unique and visionary. But this is Madison is a 13-year-old daughter of a narcissistic film star and a billionaire. Abandoned at her Swiss boarding school for Christmas, she dies over the holiday, presumably of a marijuana overdose. The last thing she remembers is getting into a town car and falling asleep. Then she's waking up in hell, literally. So this sounded really interesting when I picked it up. I think I read a little halfway into it, but it just was kind of boring and I didn't enjoy it, so I ended up DNFing it, and it's just been sitting on my shelf ever since, so I'm getting rid of it. Next, please do not crucify me for this. Okay. But Writers and Lovers by Lily King. Look, I love a contemporary novel, right? I love a contemporary. I read Three Women by Lisa Taddeo, and that was like a contemporary kind of standalone book, and this is the same thing. To me, when I read it, which is essentially what it is, it just seems like a string of consciousness. There's no real plot, there's no real anything driving the story other than you're just reading something beautiful, which some people really like, and a lot of people that I know and watch on BookTube, and a lot of people who I like the recommendations really like this book, but personally I just couldn't get into it, and I'm just, you know, wasn't the biggest fan, so I am going to be donating this book, okay? So, I'm about to get crucified in the comments. Anyway, moving on. Magic for Liars. I'm not a fantasy girl. I do not like fantasy, and I'm coming to realize that I very deeply do not like sci-fi as well. I'm just like a mystery, thriller, anything gay that's not YA usually. Horror, light horror. I just can't get into fantasy. I don't know what it is. But I did read this book earlier in the year of 2020. I read this. I read it, but I didn't enjoy it and I didn't like it, and I haven't picked up fantasy since. I think I read the Harry Potter series, but I was just kind of doing it to get through it at that point. I don't really care that much for Harry Potter. I love Ron and I love Dobby, and that's pretty much it. So, whatever. Getting rid of it. Moving on. I am sweating because I turned off my AC for this video, so... Ruth Ware's The Death of Mrs. Westaway. I tried to listen to this on audiobook back in 2020, and I couldn't get into it for some reason. I haven't read anything else by Ruth Ware, but a lot of people really, really like this book. It's just one that I just couldn't really get into, maybe because of, you know, I couldn't focus, or maybe it wasn't the right time for me to read it. And I would keep it, and maybe I will end up reading this again in the future, but as of right now, I just have so many books on my TBR, and it just keeps getting lost and lost and lost and buried in the pile of books that I have the longer I accumulate books, and so far this has been on my shelf for over a year, and I haven't read it, so I just think it's time for me to part ways with it. Maybe it'll find its way back to me sometime in the future, but as of right now, I'm just gonna get rid of it. Oh. The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn, Hardcastle. This book, holy, almost 500 pages. Obviously big books scare me. My foot is falling asleep. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god. To read this again, it's kind of like a mystery, I guess I would say. It's kind of like, it reminds me of the board game Clue, if you've ever played that. And it's super cool and interesting plot. But it was a little confusing for me. I read the first chapter. Here's my homemade bookmark. That's still in the book. And I obviously haven't finished it just because I couldn't get into it. It was very confusing for me even in the first chapter, and I just was like, I have 380 pages left of this. I can't do it. Getting rid of it. But if you like it, I'm sorry. Let's see. Oh, this. Look, I'm never gonna read this. This is How the Hula Girl Sings. This is by Joe Minnow, and it's kind of like a Pulp Fiction type story. And it sounded really interesting when I first read it, but it's been on my bookshelf for almost a year, and it keeps getting lost in my bookshelf. I'm not even looking for it, so therefore it's obviously not at the forefront of my mind, therefore it's not going to be read anytime soon. So I'm going to be donating this book. I did get it from a thrift shop for $3, so back you go. I'm sorry. I think that is... Oh, no, it's not. Spoke too soon. Sex and the City by Candace Bushnell. Look, I really like Sex and the City as a TV series. I had never read the books. But as I've gotten older, I've come to realize that Sex and the City is actually pretty problematic. For a lot of things, it's very racist, it's homophobic, transphobic, and sexist, even though it's written by a woman about women, supposed to be empowering women. It kind of does the opposite, to be honest, especially the main character, Carrie. So I don't know how I feel about that anymore. But I bought this because I was like, you know, I really liked the TV show when I was younger, like maybe I'll really like the book. Fuck, no, I hate the book. This book is so confusing to me. I read to page 25 and I could not tell you a single thing that went on in those 25 pages. It is so goddamn confusing. It goes into the perspective of so many different people, so many different men that she meets. It's like the TV show where it's like showing you a scene from a club, and then like 2 seconds later they're sitting there at lunch because it's like a flashback and they're talking about it. That's what's going on in here, but I'm just obviously maybe not smart enough to handle that, and I did not like it, so I'm donating. Do a once over, and I think that's it. I think those are all the books that I want to donate. So I've got this huge oh god, that was so good. Okay, pile of books here. Okay, a whole pile of books that I'm getting ready to donate, and I think they'll find a good home to people who actually want to read them. Thank you for watching this book unhaul with me. Now I have way more room on my shelves to put the books that I've hauled in the past couple months, as well as today. Not gonna lie, as well as today. I will show you guys my book haul, the things that I've gotten, as well as I'm going to be doing a video very soon on the book that I just finished. I love it. So yeah, keep an eye out for that, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.